Donnie Feiring. The ranch where we're standing at here today, I guess we moved on to here in 2010. The grass-fed world, why we got started into it. Saw a lot of different people, I guess, get cancer. My dad passed away from that in 2010. Just saw a different niche, I guess, for marketing. The Angus cattle are more moderate in frame, can adapt to where we live here, I guess, in western North Dakota, eastern Montana, because we're right on the Montana-North Dakota border. The Angus cattle, I guess, have been very adaptive for us, and I think that's a big key thing when you get into the grass-fed world. They got to be able to marble and be able to finish on grass. We've had some challenges and we still learn, so I do not feel like I'm an expert on grass-fed beef because we do have challenges here because of not having green year-round, so we end up supplementing a lot with alfalfa pellets. My brother-in-law wraps high forage alfalfa and feed that so we can keep the nutrition playing up to get these cattle to gain better and finish better and hopefully marble. But we still feel like it starts with the genetics. Well, I think you're absolutely right. There's a lot of misconception there in the grass-fed world. A lot of cattle sometimes, they'll say, they've been out in the range and been out grass-fed all their life, or, they go to a feedlot, yet they're still fed, a high concentrated roughage diet, and they can still pass that off as a grass-fed. But here, I guess, in our ranch, our motto is we like to keep them out grazing 365 days a year if we can. 2016 is kind of when we really got started. Processing, getting them to the meat shop was kind of a challenge. And like I said too, the grass-fed deal, it is kind of a niche. It's not for everybody. It's a leaner meat. Some people say it's more healthier, some people say it's not. But we truly believe that it is more healthier for you. I think it gives you a better flavor. I think it's that constant thing of every time that you get that consumer, you want them to have a good quality steak or hamburger. And I think whether you're grass-fed or conventional, it's part of that education where in the meat industry, we have to keep educating the consumer. And drought here in western North Dakota is a thing that we just plan for all the time. Now, is there years that it's worse? Is there years it's better? 2019 we had a really wet fall. 2020 came, we just kind of had an average year, probably a little below average growth and as far as grass, and so that really made it challenging. And that's where the alfalfa pellets had to come in, and the alfalfa to kind of give those grass-fed beef enough finish so they could get some fat cover on them. And then 2021 came and it was even worse. It was tougher to get them cattle to that finishing, weight. And that's another thing that the grass-fed has did too for us. It's those second, third rate cattle. Instead of getting, what you get at the sales barn for them, we could add another $200 or, $400 to them. And that's made a difference in our financial statement too, I guess, on the ranch. I think we grow up with the mentality too that it's all about the steaks, or we all want to go eat that prime rib, but it's the other cuts, and we've been learning more as that goes along too, I guess, of the heart, the liver, the oxtail. There's value into those, and you can get more for them too. Sometimes when we first started in 2016, I was like, told Trish, why do you want to keep some of this stuff? Well, I've learned that there's a market out there. There's people that want that and want that in their diet. Well, I think the biggest thing that we've learned on that is it takes a team. As far as like Trisha and I'm the type that I like to sell the quarter or the half, go deliver it to the lady in Dickinson, Wofford City or Williston, whatever it be, drop it off, visit with them for a little bit, and away we go. Trisha's the mentality of she likes to go to the farmers markets in Beach or wherever and sit across and visit with that person about our product, about our ranch, what we're doing. So if you're thinking about doing that, you've got to get to a plant that you trust and have good workers, because every piece of product, whether how it looks, presentation, and they want that same thing when they open up that package of hamburger or that T-bone or ribeye. They want that consistency of how it looks, how it pretends, and not only that, but that the end product, how it tastes. And so I think if you're thinking about getting into the direct marketing or selling meat, those are some things that you have to think about, but we keep learning. It's a very eye-opening experience. I think, you know, if somebody would have told me 10 years ago that we would be doing that, I probably would have laughed at them. And that's where we've learned too. I think we're selling more quarters and halves and wholes as we go along, but originally it was the hamburger. The hamburger got us to their plate. They've tried the hamburger. Oh yeah, okay, we like their taste of hamburger. Okay, now Donnie and Tricia, do you sell ribeyes? Do you sell T-bones? And it gives you that next step into it. And every state is different to sell direct product. Here in North Dakota, we had to get our retail meat license, and that's a yearly thing. It's not a big process. Once you get it, they come out and check your freezers once a year, and that's the North Dakota Health District. And then you apply for application, so that's why we can sell steaks, roast, hamburger, because it's got the federal USDA stamp on them. And so that's another thing that you would, if you're looking at getting into grass-fed beef or direct marketing, you have to, you know, do some research on that. Get your, as Tricia would say, your I's dotted and T's crossed, so you can keep everybody happy. You know, when we mean 100% grass-fed beef, we mean grass-fed beef, you know, from the day that animal is born to the day that they're go to the processing plant. And leaning into that, there's lots of great resources. You know, like the North Dakota Grazing Lands Coalition has their mentor groups. There's people on there that have wealth of knowledge, and I still learn from them people because they've been there, they've done the highs and the lows, and they'll straight you a straight answer. It isn't all a bed of roses. You know, I read the Jim Garish book, Kick the Hay Habit. I think the first 7 chapters of that book, my blood pressure was probably about ready to explode, because it's like, how do we live in the northern plains and not have some kind of hay base? But I think what the thing is, and you go back and you read the book, the big thing is that how to make less of it and have less of it and make that cow work harder. And that's what he wanted to set you up at, you know, how to make yourself more financially stable. And that's the biggest thing, and challenge you to, you know, when that cow is out there grazing for you, she's working for you. If you're out there rolling out hay for her or putting in a bale feeder, you're working for her.